Welcome everyone. Today we'll talk about performance through people engagement. Remember, people engagement, employee engagement. If the employees are engaged, they will relate to a higher performance and probably overall productivity of the organization will get enhanced. So I will give it certain examples to believe it, to understand what is people engagement and what is performance per se. A light bulb moment, let's say Thomas Edison, say geniuses who said genius is only 1% of inspiration and probably 99% of perspiration. So genius is not a fluke by any chance. It is all about people engagement that we are looking into it. It is all about performances. It is all about applying to your faith and trusting your instinct. Probably that is what genius is all about. It 1% of inspiration and probably 99% of perspiration. On the other hand, Thomas Edison also said that many of the life failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. That is what we look into it. The photograph that comes around it, which tells a thousand words altogether. Remember, life failures are the people who did not realize how close they were with the success when they actually gave up altogether. And this is what we should not be doing around it. According to that, let me quote David Tong, the rules of engaging the workforce. What exactly it is all about it. We need to ensure that achieving engaged workforce is 20% inspiration, 30% collaboration, and 50% perspiration. Approximately half of the time it's only about perspiration. Having a people engagement, remember, through people engagement, if we are looking for performances, that are 20% of the time that has been inspired. 30% of the time it is all about to be collaborated with the person all together. So a closer look at engagement and how do we measure it? Can we measure it in the per se? Everything that comes around it. If you look at, I have earmarked employee engagement in the bluest tangle. Engagement is an extent to which employees are motivated to contribute to the organizational success and are willing to apply discretionary effort to accomplish tasks important to achievement of the organizational goal, right from the initiation process where there are people who are supporting each others, probably creating a conducive work environment. This will eventually give us to the higher echelons of having and satisfied, committed, proud, and willing to get a very loyal employees. It is all about employee engagement. Remember, it started from a work environment about great managers. Now once we have a engaged employee, that means enhanced performances. Enhanced performances means improve companies performances, improve companies objectivities, bottom line, revenue, profitability, everything gets enhanced by leaps and bounds. So it's a virtuous cycle of engagement that we are interested in. I again recount that extent to which employees are motivated to contribute to organizational success and are willing to apply discretionary efforts to accomplish tasks important to the achievement of the organizational goals. Engagement is a measured with employee surveys. What do survey measures? You need to understand what do survey measure. They measure the level of engagement in an employer. What do we use with this information for? To understand what are the sentiments, how motivated are they. What does the survey measure? They measures how engagement varies across department, across countries, across job levels, across demography. And how do we use this information is to identify the best practices, probably also pinpoint the hotspot altogether. So what do the survey measures? What issues underpin engagement? What issues underpin engagement? And how do we utilize this information? To set priorities to guide decisions and organizational change, as the case might be. To set priorities, this is what we are looking into it. What do survey measures? Views and opinions on the management practice and other issues. to open a dialogue with employees, to create engagement and focuses on the areas of concern. Remember, engagement is a balance between rationalities and emotional level. And if we can have a right balance of being rational, being logical, and being emotional, you are having an engaged employee, and this engaged employee will translate into higher productivity and overall organizational performances. That is what is we are about it. A program to build long-term rationality, as the case might be, if we can go across it. How do we go about? So we can have a recording training modules which is available with a human resource business partners and the managers. It can be uploaded in your website. It can be accessed anywhere from your portals. We can have a question answer session surgeries, or to probably take out issues which might be most importantly or might be disturbing the employees in the first place. If we can clarify about them, nothing wrong with it. HR business partners are challenged to know your managers, providing the support where it needed the most, as the case might be. Manage the tail, as an engagement level, it is like your product life cycle about an employees of the organization. Whenever the employee enters the organization initially, if you can manage, if you can engage them, they will always give an optimum performances over a longer period of time. Remember, before their performance actually diminish and you cannot do about anything. So you can definitely manage the tail probably at the initial part and the tail part of it, and the performance will always be on the higher side. So engagement level, you have to look into it. The higher the engagement level, the better it is for the company, for the organization, for the employees thereby. So manage the tail, support the managers. What are the 8 ways of human resources can help managers to start and to take action? This is very important. So first and foremost is to know your managers, build up a team, set up the ball rolling, have a sense of camaraderie. Communication result first. Clear communication, distill clear communication, understanding is what is expected and what is not. Help them get in front of their teams. Delegate to share the load, as the case might be. What are we looking into it? Prioritize to focus the effort. Begin with quick wins. Deep dive into complexity. Be creative and make it personal, as the case might be. Be creative, make it personal. Know your managers. Communicate result first. Help them get in the front of the team. Delegate to share the load, prioritize to work. Absolutely. Begin with quick wins, deep dive on complexity, be creative, make it personal altogether. Remember, it's not just a program, it is all about getting engaged into the culture. This is what we should strive for. Have one-to-one talks if possible. If if there are any confusion, if there are any dispute, if there are any conflicts, can you check with the individuals? Do you clearly state what went wrong or what is expected? If that one-to-one talk is there possible, a lot of issues will be getting resolved, or should I say that a lot of issues will not creep out at any longer things. We can have team meeting. Now team meeting is where we keep on the agenda of engagement. It is an update that we keep on giving the employee survey update that comes around it, about what is expected, what are the changes that it might be expected, what are the rules that might be getting replaced, refers to key result areas in decision making, and probably solicit feedback from the team members or the people. Let us talk about the role model requiring behaviors and values. Do you check in on yourself from time to time? Do you live with the values that cases brings around it? Then we have the PDP, the profiling of the person, the personality development program that comes around it, the goals and the target. You survey to set the personal goals every now and then. It's not just a program of employee engagement. It's not a performance through people engagement. It is a continuous process, be it one-to-one talk, be it team meeting, be it modeling yourself, setting the ball rolling around it, and probably setting individual targets targets for personalities. So let us understand the procedures one by one in this particular slide. First and foremost, engagement is a long-term issue. I have said it too. It's not just one of thing. So stick with it, and it will give yield a big, richer dividend. Strong leadership upholds values, clarifying strategies and direction. Build capabilities. Reinvest in your long-term programs through human resource business partners and line managers thereby. If you can invest through it, nothing will go wrong into it. This is what we are looking forward to. Manage the tail, focus, support where it is delivered, what has been required, manage the tail. And that is what we are looking. HR, know your managers as on when on basis, human resources. What are the procedures for having an engagement? Can we build a team? Can we build or cultivate a sense of belongingness? Build capability, strong leadership, manage the tail. It is the manager's responsibility to have an engaged personnel in your team, for the organization thereby. So let us talk about the 30% collaboration. Remember, I have already said it's 20% in inspiration, which we have already said. 30% is collaboration, and the last 50% is all about perspiration, continuously cultivating of what you have already established. So yes, the collaboration part, there are four steps to turn data into action. First and foremost thing is to understand the result, your result. What are you doing around it? Discuss it with your trusted colleagues. If you are not sure about, discuss it with your senior. Conduct step number two is conducting feedback meeting, which is all about transparency. Would you need to justify why are you saying certain statement, and from what angle, from what perspective are you coming with this kind of statement? Discuss the implication thereof. Step number three is to develop action plan, delegate teamwork using collaborative technology, deep dive into complex issues. So communicate progress, follow up, and manage. That is what communication is all about. It. This is what we are looking for. So there are four steps for collaborations, which will make sense, make information. First step is understanding your result, conducting feedback meeting, developing action plan is the step number three, and the last step is all about follow up and managing the flow. What happens when you do not follow up? This actually goes wrong. If you make follow up, there's a confidence which shows build up. Approximately 90%, 89% has been stated. But what happens if you do not follow up is unconfident survey follow up. That is approximately less than 50%, or should I say 50% altogether. So please, the requisition is very simple. Engagement false if you think they will do nothing. The idea is not only to do something and then probably follow it up with up. Ensure that whatever you have done, it should yield some sort of result, as the case might be. Remember, engagement is only continuous process. Performance through people engagement is keeping people in loop all the time throughout their tenure altogether. So collaboration through connection, as the case might be. The connections. What are collaboration to connection? Believe me or not, the world is very dynamic. It is changing on a daily basis. So we can have a website, the dashboard, which can tell us, which will might have. I'm just giving you an example out here in the top things. It can be bookmark, can be members, status update, recent updates, things like that. Now this is a list of your employees who have been working around it. What do you go about? How do you find what are the people that is done? Depending upon these activities, you can have their blogs, their bookmark, the micro blogging slides, the social analytics, and things like that, that can enhance the quality that comes around it. This is what we are looking forward to it. Did I say 30% was collaboration, 20% is all about inspiration? Definitely, yes. Back to Thomas Edison. Negative results. I have been quoting only Thomas Edison in this particular presentation. Is what? Why? Because this is all about being engaged, being striving towards one work. And I don't find a glorious example than Thomas Edison, who probably took approximately more than 3 years to just invent a light bulb, and in the process probably has done umpteen number of failures before he before he actually discovered, or should I invented, or been successful in his invention. So negative results are just what I want. Thomas Edison goes on to say they're just as valuable to me as positive result. Because why? Because negative result tells you this is not the right path. Do not tread on this path altogether. So that is actually one step towards the positive result, as the case might be. You are eliminating one more wrong notion that comes around it. So fast moving consumer groups. I'm just giving you an example, needs attention on a subtle message. You know, if a situation, let's say a global FMCG company with a long standing emphasis on creativity and entrepreneurship was moving away from private ownership via sheer offering new performance based psychological contract, more centralized, more market discipline, more measured, that we were talking around it. Survey shows confidence in leadership, but a 2% decline in the perception on innovation that was treated as a red flag. Response, they did not ignore this signal. Deep dive on innovations. Where are concerns concentrated? Consultations on obstacles to innovations, crowdsourcing initiative launch in a specific categories. Communication of innovations are as key responses to survey, a commitment to traditional companies, values of entrepreneurship, as the case might be. This is what we are looking forward to it. They, you need to inform it. So what are we looking into it? The responses, they did not ignore the signal, deep dive on innovation. What are the concern concentrated? Let us talk about this consultation process. Are they an obstacle to innovation, or they a growth path to innovation? Crowdsourcing is a very good initiative that comes around it. Communication of innovation is a key resources. Responses to the survey, a commitment to traditional company values of an entrepreneurship, as the case might be. Inspiring from social listening is IBM's employee listening platform. 5 product presented on social listening dashboard that provides much more in-depth in a regular insight about your organization. Inspiring by making a difference. Perception of humankind emerged as the best predictor of best agency scores. Judge on a financial and creative metric. Offices fostering on an innovative and challenging environment are 2.2 times more likely to meet the goals. If you are having an innovative environment, if you are having an engaged employee, so believe me or not, it's more than double the chances of likely to meet your goals. If you are innovative, if you are fostering some sort of creativity, some sort of laxity that comes around it. On the other hand, turnover rates are 8.2% lower in offices with the highest engagement as thing. So people would love to stay back in the organization. They would not look for revenues here and there. Why? Because they are happy. They are in the happy state of mind, and that what makes them stick with the organization. This is another pro forma, or this is another indicator which tells that the organization is on the right path. So perception of humankind definitely is the best predictor, as the case might be. Let me summarize quickly before we wind up this particular presentation altogether. Remember, we are talking about performances through people engagement, and let me help you in summarizing for better engagement what exactly has been meant around here. So, conclusion, there are basically the perspiration that becomes around it and collaboration. So, let us give you the points here for perspirations, what the conclusions are all about it. Engagement, remember, engagement is not a short term thing, it is not a one off thing, it is a continuous process which goes happens inside out, day in day out, week in week out, all the year long. In fact, it goes beyond years, it might go on for throughout their existence. Engagement is always, should be on, the button should always be on. The leadership is the persons, or the persons who are going to make it happen. They should be bought in all together. They will ensure that employees are completely and thoroughly engaged with the organization. To engage your team, first engage your managers. As I keep on saying, a leadership position is what is which is very vital. You need to keep them engaged as much as possible. To engage your managers, make them accountable, give them the tools and support to do the work. as the case might be. So understand the issue, find out what is driving engagement, understand what exactly people are looking for it, how do we go across it. Focus on your efforts on priority issues and priority population with the passage. Focus on your efforts on priority issues, thereby bring an engaging style in your daily work environment. If you can bring in nothing like it, great. Get inspiration from collaboration with colleagues and so on and so forth. Get the requisite inspiration. Pay attention to the details. Do not, I repeat, do not ignore subtle message in the data as the case might be. Inspire others by making an impact every now and then. This is what we are looking forward to. Absolutely, yes. If we can inspire, if we can keep our people engaged, believe me or not, the performance of the individual will be of an optimum level, and possibly this will ensure that the firm or the organization will never be running out of revenue models or profitability. Thank you for watching this video.